Well, this is special. Thanks, Adrian. Good evening to you. It is 35 years since we were first treated to the magnificent end-of-season circus that is the playoffs. A sensational invention that has captivated and enthralled in equal measure. But tonight here on Wearside, we see what's said to be the biggest crowd ever for a playoff semi-final, and not in a match that will see its winner within a victory of the promised land. This, not a championship tie, but a League One epic between two clubs who've won 10 English League titles between them, and whose sole intent now is a return back into the top 34 teams in the pyramid. Sunderland have only had 5 seasons at this level in their history, and that includes each of the last 4, a period that few will remember fondly, littered with frustrations, near misses and playoff defeats. Now they try again to break that playoff duck. Facing them, a team with whom they crossed paths in the Premier League, Sheffield Wednesday, relegated last season on goal difference in heartbreaking style after a 6-point deduction. The Owls kept faith with Darren Moore, both then and in a mid-season blip, but if the campaign had started in mid-January, they would have been champions. Unlike the Black Cats, they've got a playoff pedigree. They've reached the final in 2 of their 3 attempts, and they've got out of this division through the playoffs before. The fact they've beaten each of the top 3 away from home this season stands them in good stead. This is how the teams line up. Sunderland, Patterson in goal, Wright, Bart and Sirkin, Gooch, Evans, O'Neill and Clark, Pritchard and Roberts, and Stewart.
I do like this setup with Sunderland. I mean, it's going to be interesting. There's some really interesting battles with Lind and Gooch over on that right-hand side. If that's where he's going to set up in this wing-back position. But it's all about getting the service up to Ross Stewart, the man who's got the goals for Sunderland this season. Let's see if he can produce the goods tonight.
The two teams walk out. The flamethrowers just place inside the playing surface, do their thing. And 7 ball boys stand each side of those flamethrowers, possibly not with quite as much eyebrow hair as they had 30 seconds ago. They will be hot and searing, those flamethrowers, just yards from them. The atmosphere pretty hot as well. We told you the Sunderland lineup. This is Wednesday's. Peacock, Farrell in goal, Story, Hutchinson and Dean, Palmer, Byers, Luongo, Bannon and Johnson, Gregory and Berahino.
It's certainly a night for calm heads from Sheffield Wednesday. We've got to try and silence this crowd as quick as they possibly can. Be patient and wait for their opportunities and make sure you are still in this tie on Monday evening.
Boos and whistles as the Sheffield Wednesday team is being read out on the public address system. And the Sunderland team now follows suit as well. All around us, we're right at the back of the main stand here with Sunderland fans literally 2 or 3 feet in front of us. The atmosphere extraordinarily intense. Stakes very, very high indeed. Think back to the 2 league meetings between these two this season. Both bizarre affairs in many ways. Sunderland beating Wednesday 5-0 here in a game in which the Owls had the majority of possession back in December. When they met at Hillsborough, it was Wednesday that ran out 3-0 winners with goals from Corbiano, Camberi and Gregory. Only Gregory plays tonight, but he's in a rich vein of goal-scoring form with 8 in his last 8 matches. Ross Stewart, Sunderland's leading scorer, the second leading scorer in the division, has 24. Plenty of ammunition amongst both of these teams. Black Cats have been keeping things tight at the back. Wednesday have really been scoring goals for fun in recent times. Wednesday fans, or Wednesday players, I beg your pardon, away to our right-hand side, just in a huddle in their blue and white striped shirts and black shorts and socks. Sunderland in their traditional red and white striped shirts and black shorts. In a week that has seen a raft of extraordinary, mind-boggling semi-finals, this is a match that promises to be a worthy successor to those over the last 72 hours. No European final on the agenda for the winner here, but make no mistake, this could hardly matter more for Sunderland or Sheffield Wednesday. The Stadium of Light tonight and Hillsborough on Monday. The chance for one slumbering giant to further their upward progress for the loser. Another unwanted chapter in an ignominious period. And alongside me, Jim Proud, the man that played for both of these clubs, Mickey Gray. Mickey, we're underway. What are you anticipating?
Well, Jim, there's one word that always gets used, certainly when you play at the Stadium Light, from a Sunderland perspective, and that's passion. We can see it in the stands. You need to keep those supporters on side as much as you possibly can in this home tie. And I talk about calm heads. That's exactly what the Sunderland players need to show tonight, as do the Sheffield Wednesday players. As I mentioned before, this is won and lost over 2 legs, the second being on Monday evening, but you do not play your way out of a second leg in the first tie. Sunderland would know that, the importance of trying to take something to Hillsborough on Monday, and that's the importance, and Alex Neil would have said that to his players. They're on a great run at the moment, they've unbeaten in 13, but the former Sheffield Wednesday of late has been superb as well. They've got some talented players. Barry Bannon, I love Johnson over on this left-hand side. He loves to get forward. He's got a lot of pace. He's very left-footed, but his end product is absolutely outstanding. And I think it's just who can settle into the game the best and open up and wait for your opportunities.
Sunderland playing it forward, but it's swept away by Story on the right of the 3 centre-halves. Harley Dean playing in the middle of the 3. Back in the side today. And that has seen Liam Palmer, as Mickey detailed earlier, moving from centre-half out to right wing-back to accommodate Dean's return. Ball played out towards the far touchline. Bannon waiting to receive it. His crunching challenge that came in on him. Ball out of play for what most people were anticipating was going to be a Sheffield Wednesday throw, but a free kick has been given by referee Matt Donoghue. I mentioned earlier that despite the fact that he's developed a fine reputation as an official in the Championship, hence this high-profile appointment tonight, has produced more red cards in the second tier than any other official this season. Barry Bannon to take this free kick then for Wednesday. It's about 20 yards inside the Sunderland half. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from only a couple of yards in from the touchline. High ball in towards Stories, heading down awkwardly towards the edge of the 6-yard box. And as Wednesday players came to attack it, it's turned just wide. There's a very presentable opportunity, only about 6 yards out. And it just fouled for Gregory, and he couldn't get the kind of touch that he wanted. But it's a let-off for Sunderland in the early stages, 0-0.
It certainly was a let-off, and a wonderful ball in from that right-hand side from Barry Bannon, who won the free kick. It was Luke O'Nien. He thought he'd won the ball cleanly. The referee blew his whistle, gave the free kick, and from that free kick, you could see the movement from Sheffield Wednesday. Win the first ball, Lee Gregory on the move, and he was inches away from getting that first contact and an opportunity early on in this game.
Hutchinson is in strongly, but won it cleanly from Stewart, and got it back for his goalkeeper Bailey Peacock Farrell, who conceded 5 here in December. The Northern Ireland international is on loan from Burnley. Sunderland doing well to win it back. And goes back for Bailey right now to Danny Bart. Lyndon Gooch shows for the ball on the right-hand touchline, right in front of his manager Alex Neil. Well, it's laid back for Bailey Wright again. Wright driving it forward here. A long one for the very tall striker Stewart to try and get on the end of. He's fed Roberts here. Roberts towards the edge of the area. And a left-footed shot from the edge of the box, straight down the throat of Peacock Farrell, who gratefully collapses onto the ball and makes the save. But that's the best chance in the opening 4 minutes, where both goalkeepers have seen a view of the ball a little bit closer than they would have liked. Still 0-0, but the Sunderland fans infused by Stewart's good work and Roberts' decent shot.
Yeah, there's no question that's the start that Sunderland needed. They need to try and test this goalkeeper as much as they can very early. Peacock Farrell in the Sheffield Wednesday goal. Sometimes you have to forget about playing the football if it's tight and condensed in that midfield area. There's nothing wrong with that long ball. You've got Ross Stewart, who's just stood on the edge of the 18-yard area. He's a big, strong, physical presence, but you need those runners off him, and a super run there from Roberts. Wonderful, just works it well onto his left foot, and he gets his strike away. Just needed to be either side of the goalkeeper. But a promising start from Sunderland.
Bannon heading the ball forward, looking at Berahino. Clark wins it back, ends up on the deck. Referee happy for play to continue, and Wednesday can bring it forward down towards the corner flag. Now the whistle has gone. And it will be a free kick for that foul, which Sunderland will take not too far out from their own penalty area. Sunderland, as Mickey was saying earlier, the second best home record in the division, behind Sheffield Wednesday. Wednesday away from home have beaten each of the top three, but have lost almost as many as they've won on their travels, including that thumping defeat here at Christmas. Ball played forward. Hutchinson looks as though he's leaning over Stewart. Referee happy for play to go on. Bart heads it down. 9 in there and just nods it back to right. And now to be played forward down the Sunderland left out to Clark. Clark laying it back again to Danny Bart. Not too far away from the edge of the centre circle. And Sirkin to his left has worked it the other way instead towards right, and now it comes down towards Lyndon Gooch, who's equally at home on either flank, right wing back or left wing back. Macker goes for Wright again, who's in his 8th playoff match today. Nobody in the Sunderland side's got more experience than that. He has won these League One playoffs in the past, back in his Preston days. Long diagonal play down towards the corner flag here. Roberts acknowledges the intent of the pass, if not its execution. It was about 10 yards ahead of him. It goes out of play for a throw that will be taken by Hutchinson down by his own corner flag for Sheffield Wednesday. We're 6.5 minutes in here on Talk Sport, and it's still Sunderland 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
It's been a decent start to the game from both sides. Looks like they've settled into it very quickly. Sunderland obviously had the best opportunity in the game, but you can also sense when Sheffield Wednesday get into that opposition's half, into Sunderland's half, they've got the pace and the quality of Berahino and Lee Gregory. They've just got to try and get those two guys involved in the game as much as they possibly can, and that's where their opportunities will come from.
Now Story's played it forward and given it away, and Sunderland will work it inside the penalty area looking for Stewart. Half cleared out towards 09. Back out wide towards the Sunderland right for Gooch's delivery. Headed away again by Story. Pritchard, the diminutive former Tottenham man, ducking his blonde head in towards the edge of the penalty area. Boots raised, but play goes on. Sunderland on the front foot again here. Pritchard just laying the ball back. Work round the corner. Another opportunity for the Black Cats to deliver, one that they haven't taken. Pritchard now tries to get the ball in. It's cleared though by Johnson from the edge of his own penalty area. High ball that goes all the way forward over the halfway line, and Berahino chases, but Sunderland able to mop up and get it all the way back to the rookie goalkeeper Anthony Patterson, who's been first choice for the Black Cats since January. It's been the first half of the season in the National League on loan at Notts County, but caught the eye there, and it's been first choice, as I said, since Alex Neil took over from Lee Johnson here not long after the turn of the year. And at the other end, Peacock Farrell gets it clear. Coming to meet it was Gregory. He was easily beaten in the air though by Wright. 09 really showed his versatility in recent weeks, playing at wing back, at centre half as a 10, and in a deeper line midfield position today. Pritchard back for Wright again. Sunderland with the majority of possession in these early stages. 8.5 minutes in at 0-0. Down towards Gooch. Gooch just leaving Gregory on the deck with a neat little turn. Gregory stumbling. Gooch bringing it forward over halfway, and then see 09 spraying it out towards the left-hand side behind Sirkin, and straight out for a throw which will be taken over on the Sheffield Wednesday right. 9 gone, 0-0.
Well, look, 09 he just had a little look over his left-hand shoulder and just played it kind of blind, if you like, a reverse pass towards that left-hand side towards Sirkin. Maybe question whether 09 was going to start this game this evening. He's had a long layoff as well. He's played the last couple of games. In his debut when he came back, I think he got himself on the score sheet. But Matete, who's been doing ever so well in that midfield area, he's a common influence. I just wonder as the game goes on, very late on, I wonder if Matete will get his opportunity.
Now Pritchard has done well, playing it out towards Roberts, right-hand side of the penalty area for Sunderland, and Hutchinson's forced to concede the first corner of the night.
Super from Roberts, that you want to see from your wide players, running at defenders. He's got that wonderful left foot, he can go either way. You just seen he won his side a corner there, and there was a fist pump towards the ground, and those are the type of things, Jim, that just get the crowd on your side. They love corners, they love free kicks, but you have to make them count.
Pritchard is going to be that will take the corner, spotting the ball down on the quadrant. as far away from the dead ball line as he can. And it's a very congested 6-yard box. Roberts is in there trying to stand in front of the goalkeeper to deny Peacock Farrell a clean jump towards the ball. The Black Cats have also got 2 in the far post area. Story, the Sheffield Wednesday centre-half, isn't looking at the flight of the ball here, nor is Palmer. They're just keeping an eye on the 2 players in behind them. Stewart doing his best to make life difficult. Sheffield Wednesday have got an excellent record attacking corners, but what will they be like defending them here? 8 players inside that 6-yard box, and another 3 Sunderland players making their way in now to attack. It's in very deep, back in from Bart, whose was the last touch. It's a Wednesday defender out of play for another corner, and Pritchard will trot from one side of the pitch to the other.
Well, we eventually got the corner, Jim. I think, there was so much going on in the penalty area. The referee just had to, try and settle players down. There was a couple at the back stick. They weren't even looking at the ball. You had 2 or 3 Sunderland players around the penalty area. But they've won a second consecutive corner here, and it's a different one altogether. You've got 5 players surrounding each other.
On the edge of the penalty area, the Sunderland players are going to make their runs in now. Roberts making life difficult again. It's taken a flick on the way through and eventually ends up cannoning wide. Sunderland claiming that it should be a corner, but I think a goal kick is probably the correct decision. But Luongo had his arms around Roberts for a moment inside the 6-yard box as the delivery came in, and all the big guns. And Stewart and Bart are both, 6'4 plus, really trying to make life difficult. Set pieces will be a clear avenue for both of these teams over the next 170 minutes of play. We're 12 in tonight here on Wearside. The second leg coming your way also on TalkSport with Adrian, Mickey and myself Monday night from South Yorkshire. We're at Hillsborough, where the build-up begins at 7 and a 7:45 kick-off Monday night as well. Winners of this, of course, take on either Wycombe or MK Dons. Wycombe 2 up from the first leg, which we brought you last night, live on the TalkSport app. And the second leg of that one coming your way on Sunday. Here's 09 for Sunderland, back for Bart, now towards right, down towards Lyndon Gooch, who's got more than 200 Sunderland games behind him now. He played in the Premier League for the club back in the day. Forward towards Roberts, another with Premier League experience. He's just muscled out of it in the midfield there by Johnson. Wednesday survive a handball shout, and Bannon's able to work it forward. Luongo has got Berahino, the former West Brom man, to his left-hand side. Back he goes for Marv Johnson. Now to Hutchinson. Hutchinson at one stage earlier in his career retired, then came out of retirement, got himself fit again after looked as though his career was going to be curtailed by injury back in his early days, and very much Sheffield Wednesday player for a number of years now. He was in the outside that lost the Championship playoff final back in 2016. Wednesday have a throw, midway inside the Sunderland half, over on the far touchline. Wednesday kicking from right to left as we look at it here. High ball in towards Berahino, who did well to make something of it, but Gooch can volley it clear. And Hutchinson's got all the time in the world on the left of the 3 centre-halves to run round it, get it away from Roberts and go back to his goalkeeper. Peacock Farrell out to Hutchinson and straight back again. Now driven forward by Peacock Farrell over the halfway line. Berahino going up for it. Brought down by Bannon. Bannon flicking in with his left foot straight into Gooch and out of play. Into Roberts, I beg your pardon, and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday left, right in front of their manager, Darren Moore. 14 in. Flurry of early chances, and both penalty areas have seen a bit of action, but it's still 0-0, Nick.
Sheffield Wednesday have not taken too many risks. I mean, they put a couple of decent balls into the area, one from the free kick from Barry Bannon, another one from Liam Palmer. Other than that, I think they're just waiting for Sunderland to maybe make a mistake in that central area. I think Sunderland have settled into the game really well. They've had that one really good opportunity a little bit earlier on in the game. They're trying to get the ball into wide areas. Lyndon Gooch down this right-hand side looks very lively so far in the game, but I think if I'm a striker for Sheffield Wednesday in the first 15 minutes, I'm saying to you, just turn them. let's try and get it behind the full-backs when we get the opportunity, but maybe that culminates with not being able to get Barry Bannon involved in the game as much as Sheffield Wednesday probably would like to.
Sunderland have it again, and they have had the majority of possession up to this point. Down it comes towards Gooch. Gooch just chipping it forward optimistically, but off target and straight out of play for a throw. You're listening to Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL League One playoffs, live on TalkSport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Ball out of play for a throw which Hutchinson has taken for Wednesday, down the near touchline there left. Headed on again then by Luongo, guided on further by Johnson, the former Middlesbrough man, down towards the corner flag where Berahino will try and make life difficult for the Sunderland backline, but he stumbled at the most inopportune moment, lost his balance, and that made it easier for Gooch just to be able to shepherd the ball over the line. And out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Patterson. 0-0, 16 gone.
And there's an interesting character to speak about, Berahino. I mean, how many managers and how many clubs have tried to get the best out of him? He looked as if he settled at Sheffield Wednesday. Well, it was only 3 or 4 years ago, Jim. I think, he was an absolute top star, and there was a lot of clubs after him, wasn't there? But he just lost his way a little bit.
He is a man that, at one stage, as you said, not that long ago, 14 Premier League goals in one season, but ended up playing in Belgium, and his career went off the rails a little bit, trying to reinvigorate himself as a Sheffield Wednesday player. He has scored 9 goals this season, including a hat-trick against Cambridge. But he's just in consultation with the referee here after a free kick has been given Sunderland's way. Berahino trying to make sure that the referee insists that Pritchard puts the ball down where the infringement took place and not further upfield. Berahino now makes his way away and will be a one-man wall ahead of this Pritchard free kick. Wednesday keeping a high line right on the edge of the penalty area. Stewart at the moment is just marauding in behind them. Just trying to surreptitiously, and it's not easy to do anything surreptitious at Ross Stewart's height. They're just trying to sort of lurk unnoticed in what at the moment is an offside position, but he's gambling on that Wednesday defence just dropping back in before Pritchard strikes the ball, which they do. In it comes. Header away was an important one from Story. Back towards the edge of the penalty area. Falls on the edge of the box for Evans, who tried his luck, and that one is easily blocked. Now a high right-footed delivery in from Gooch, and comfortably claimed by Peacock. Farrell, the Sunderland fans appealing. One of their number was just being held by Harley Dean, but the referee says there was no foul on right, and play is allowed to continue. The ball in the hands of Peacock. Foul. 18 gone, it's 0-0.
Yeah, well, as that ball just comes back into the area there from Lyndon Gooch, it was Bailey Wright. He was in between 2 centre-halves. There was a coming together, but not enough to give a foul in the 18-yard area. But the quality's got to be better from Lyndon Gooch. He had so much time just to get that ball out of his feet and put in a low fizzing ball into a dangerous area, and it's just so easy for the goalkeeper to come and clutch it out of the sky.
Roberts making a run down the right-hand touchline, and it's well dealt with by Hutchinson in his yellow boots, over to head the ball away. Johnson will quickly turn it forward. Berahino beaten in the air by Wright, and then O'Nine's touch isn't the best, and it goes out of play for a throw. Wednesday have got so much experience through this team, and plenty of playoff experience as well. Johnson, player that won the playoffs back in his Motherwell days. Stories played in a playoff final when he was barely out of his teens. Hutchinson in the Owls side that lost the championship playoff final a few years ago. Luongo, another who's played in the playoff finals at this level, actually, back in his Swindon days, so they know what it's all about. But still 2 monumental games ahead of them. Ball in the midfield with Sunderland with Luke O'Nine. And now Corey Evans, right-footed ball forward from Johnny Evans' younger brother. Headed away by the retreating Palmer. It just drops down conveniently on the Sunderland left-hand side there for Clark, who's yet to really been able to get into the game. Clark now making his way forward towards the corner of the penalty area. Clever little step over. from Sirkin. That allowed Pritchard the opportunity to deliver, and it's blocked and goes out of play for a Sunderland throw, level the edge of the Wednesday box. 20 minutes in, 0-0 in this first leg of the League One playoff semi-final. Throw taken, and back through the midfield it goes with Clark in possession, in towards Bannon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Jim, over on that right-hand side, Liam Palmer's been a little bit isolated on a couple of occasions. There's 2v1s with Clark and Pritchard, who seems to have drifted over to that left-hand side. They have to try and make that count. But full credit to Liam Palmer so far. He's defended well, and when he's been given the opportunity to get forward, he's done so.
Turnover and possession here for Wednesday. Gregory trying to make something of it, unceremoniously stopped by Wright, who just was a red and white brick wall for him. And the two collided, but no complaints from Gregory, back on his feet very quickly, and Sunderland emerged with possession. Good defending.
What a tackle from Bailey Wright. Good play from Berahino and Gregory. But Gregory just got his head up. He's seen three Sunderland players around him. He had nowhere to go, and he just tried to bustle his way through Bailey Wright, who stood his ground. I think that's fantastic defending. He read the situation really well, and you heard the roar. They love challenges like here at the Stadium of Light. Absolutely super challenge from Bailey Wright.
This is Evans, who's making the 300th start of his career tonight. Down towards Pritchard. Pritchard rolling it forward. Very well read by Johnson, the left wing back, and then Luongo forced the slide in, back on his feet as it was half won by a Sunderland player. Bannon trying to make life difficult, but United States international Gooch was in there very quickly. Luongo winning it back, not for long. 09 turning it forward. Roberts will chase after it, but he can't keep it in. And it's out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday left-hand side. It's been some week of live football on the TalkSport network. Rangers making it through to the Europa League final that we will bring you live from Seville against Eintracht Frankfurt a week on Wednesday. Liverpool making it through to the Champions League final. We'll bring you that as well against Real Madrid live from Paris Saturday, May the 28th. And the live football continues. Tomorrow, Adrian at Turf Moor going around the grounds on TalkSport 2. Exclusive commentary at 3 o'clock of Chelsea against Wolves. 5:30, it's Brighton against Manchester United with Sam Matterface alongside Scott Minto. Sunday, Chelsea against Manchester United in the WSL, the final day with Joe Shannon and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. And then the second leg of the other League One playoff semi-final, 6:30, Sunday night. It's exclusive on TalkSport 2. MK Dons trying to overturn that 2-0 first leg deficit against Wycombe Wanderers. And Ian Danter will talk you through the action there. Here and now on Wearside, we're midway through the first half. And it remains 0-0. Bannon just having his shirt pulled by Roberts. Able to guide it back. Johnson gets it away. Headed back over the halfway line is brought down by Luongo, but it's just a little bit scrappy in the midfield at the moment. Evans there to win it. Feeds it off towards Sirkin. Sirkin to Clark. Back for Evans again in the Sunderland midfield. High ball forward. Pritchard's made a third man run, but he was watched every step of the way by Hutchinson. And the ball goes through for Bailey Peacock Farrell. But we saw that early flurry of opportunities. One for Gregory at one end and then a snapshot at the other that Peacock Farrell did very well to deal with. But it's just dried up a little bit. A few mistakes in the midfield, and perhaps the fact that the stakes are as high as they are just beginning to have a little bit of an effect.
Yep, completely right, Jim. It's gone a little bit flat. It's gone a little bit scrappy. I think we've got two sides in front of us who are, at the moment, maybe a little bit afraid to take a risk and maybe commit one extra player into that final third of the game. You know, I've touched on Lyndon Guchov on his right-hand side. His quality hasn't been great in the last couple of minutes. And Sheffield Wednesday, I touched on Liam Palmer, but Barry Bannon, who was actually just about to take this free kick, every Sheffield Wednesday outfield player is in the opposition's half. He needs to get further up the field to make things happen for his team.
Possession for Sunderland at the moment, about 70-30. And yet Wednesday have forced as many opportunities as their hosts. And if it is scrappy, bearing in mind how good both of these sides are at home, clearly it's going to favour Wednesday the longer that this stays a relatively sterile midfield battle. Throw's going to be taken by Johnson for Sheffield Wednesday on the near touchline there left, midway inside his own half. A little drag back heel, finding Hutchinson, cleared though by Sunderland. Pritchard, Story slides in, the former Exeter man, able to knock it away out to the right for Palmer. High driven right-footed ball in from him. Gregory with a header towards goal, and perhaps the ball back towards either Berahino or Bannon from a tightish angle might have been more effective, but it's a very easy game to play for up here, and it was easily saved by Patterson, the Sunderland goalkeeper, at his near post. Always falling backwards, very difficult to get the power that he needed in that. Poor clearance from Patterson. Wednesday quickly get the ball back. 25 gone, it's 0-0.
Well, the Gregory opportunity there, I just wonder if he actually did try and play it back into the 6-yard area, Jim, and he just got his header completely wrong. Again, it was Sunderland giving the ball away, a nice ball into the area from Liam Palmer, got a lot of pace on it. When you're trying to hit it back into the 6-yard area, you've got to concentrate on it so much, but you need the runners. You need Berahino to get himself near that penalty spot if he possibly can. But again, it's Sunderland trying to clear the lines and making mistakes. We're getting to that point in the game where you're thinking to yourself, right, are we going to actually, go into that 4th or that 5th gear and make something happen for your team? Because it's just been a little bit scrappy, and where's those opportunities? You need to make chances if you're going to get into that playoff final.
Sunderland in possession over on the far touchline, and they lose out with Luongo able to just chip the ball forward. Palmer will give chase, but it's easily dealt with at the back by Danny Bart, a former Sheffield Wednesday player back in the day. Had a couple of seasons on loan there from Wolves and won this division with the Owls back 10 years ago. Patterson gets it back and played for now out of his penalty area to right. Gooch firing it forward. Stewart unable to get a clean jump towards the ball. It's very clever defending by Dean, who, just as the ball got towards Ross Stewart, leant into him, gave him a little nudge, so he was off balance as he jumped for it and mistimed it, and the ball rolled past the pair of them all the way through to Peacock Farrell. In luminous orange tonight, he swipes it away, left-footed from outside the 6-yard box. Evans in strongly, no foul on Gregor. In fact, the referee now acknowledges it, but with Wednesday in possession, the advantage is play. Ball with Story, 10 yards inside his own half. Story taking a touch and then going up through the gears, taking it through the centre circle and working it out towards Hutchinson. Hutchinson back for Story again. Story just out of position for a moment, just swapping over with Dean amongst the centre halves. Ball back for Peacock Farrell, high clearance, right back pedalling, and just earns a nod of approval from Mickey as he went back on the edge of the penalty area and nodded it away. Very clever, calm, experienced defender from, or experienced defending, I beg your pardon, from Bailey Wright, the Australian international.
Well, they certainly need it at the moment, Jim, don't they? You say, well, as the game's gone scrappy, I think the happier side has got to be Darren Moore's Sheffield Wednesday. They have silenced the crowd, which is one of the big things that managers will always say when they're in the away dressing room at the Stadium of Light. Is you quiet this crowd, it's such an advantage as an away side, because they have the onus, they have to take the game to Sheffield Wednesday, they have to take something to Hillsborough on Monday. There's something to hang on to if they get the opportunity. And again, just as I'm speaking, it's a diagonal pass from Gooch over to the left-hand side, and you can see all the way along the back line. You cannot be in an offside position. You've got to be a little bit savvy, use your experience, stay on side, and then you give yourself a chance of a 1v1 situation. But at the moment, it's back and forth. Sheffield Wednesday giving the ball away, Sunderland doing exactly the same thing. I think you've just got to calm the nerves down a little bit.
There was Clark, who was flagged offside. And Wednesday will have a free kick not far outside their own penalty area. Sunderland finishing in 5th spot, Wednesday in 4th, a point ahead of them. 5th spot has been the poison chalice, really, in League One over the last few years. It's 15 years since a side finished 5th and won the playoffs. But don't get me wrong, you'd rather finish 5th than 7th, but you'd probably rather finish 4th or 6th than 5th, judging by that historical record. Sunderland have it in the midfield with Evans. Evans knocking it to his right-hand side, and Gooch has given it away. It was easily read, firstly by Johnson, and then Luongo is able to take it on, and he went to ground very easily. Bailey Wright was quick to tell him that, I think there was actually an apology from Luongo, judging by Wright's reaction as Luongo got back to his feet. The referee will just have a little word in passing and play will restart with a Sunderland throw. We played 29 minutes on TalkSport and it's Sunderland 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Here's a man that played for both, Mickey Gray.
I think Matt Donohue's been refereeing again ever so well so far. You think about the occasion, he's not been in this situation too many times as a referee. He's trying as much as he possibly can to let the game flow. But Luongo trying to win his side a foul, trying to be clever. The referee just went across to the player and just said, look, let's have none of that. We want an entertaining game of football if we possibly can, and we want to see goals, but at the minute it's so tight, we're just waiting for an opportunity, never mind a goal.
Story working the ball out towards Palmer, who has been playing at right centre half recently, but right wing back today. Harley Dean returning, Jack Hunt the player dropping out, and Palmer taking his place on the right flank for Wednesday. Ball on the right flank for Sunderland at the moment, but it's not a good ball forward towards Roberts, and it remains a little bit scrappy. Hutchinson able to get it away. Sheffield Wednesday's three centre halves all strewn wide across the pitch in open play. Now as the ball is worked forward, Gregory has fouled 09, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Sunderland just inside Sheffield Wednesday territory. 31 gone, 0-0, and another chance for Sunderland to get the body spoil, but the free kick taken quickly for Gooch. Roberts almost standing on Gooch's toes by the time the ball was played, and it goes towards Pritchard. Pritchard down towards the right-hand touchline. Gooch firing it in, so much better delivery, and it dipped awkwardly in front of Hutchinson, but he swept it clear and out for a throw.
Well, that's better from Gooch. 2 or 3 occasions before he just put that ball into the area, he kept giving the ball away, waving his arm. He's going to have a sore arm at the end of the game if he keeps giving the ball away, but super cross, which is the positions you want him to be in that final third.
Roberts losing out. Luongo gets it clear, and Berahino sliding in. It's gone out of play for a throw off him. Sunderland threat to take quickly. Gooch trying to invite Roberts to make a run in behind the Wednesday back line. The referee Donohue just told Gooch he had to take 3 or 4 steps back before restarting play. He's done that. Now Pritchard's got in towards Roberts to the dark-haired thick-set 09. Former Wickham man playing it out towards the left, given away though, and Palmer is able to motor forward. Now he hasn't got too much in the way of support, but Gregory and Berahino going up through the gears to try and get there. Palmer whipping the ball in. Berahino can't quite keep it alive. The crossover hit, and it's drifted past everybody and out of play for a throw, and Palmer just staying down for a moment over on the far touchline, but no foul on him. He gets back to his feet now, and play resumes on the Sunderland right-hand side, 0-0.
Sloppy play again from Sunderland and Sirkin, and again at the moment they're trying to play out of their own 18-yard area. They're making silly mistakes. Get a decision in your head and just clear your lines. If you're not playing well, grow into the game. Liam Palmer, you give him the opportunity, invite the ball to him, he's going to burst down that right-hand side. He's got a super right foot, and you're right, Jim, he just outpaced everybody. There was nobody there in the box waiting for his cross when it came into the area. He was waving his arms around because he thought he was fouled as he put the ball into the box, but you keep giving the ball away. Liam Palmer is going to burst down there, and the opportunities he gets, one occasion, he's going to find somebody, and that is Sheffield Wednesday's opportunity to stick the ball in the back of the net.
Liam Palmer, the Scottish international, long-standing servant of Wednesdays, played nearly 350 games for the club, but this is his first ever playoff match tonight because he was injured for both of the playoff campaigns that they had in the last decade in 2016 and 2017, so missed the games on that occasion, breaking his duck tonight. Ball helpful from the Sunderland midfield, but Clark just hooking it on aimlessly, painting by numbers really. It goes through towards Peacock Farrell. He rolls it out. Story gets it upfield quickly. Sunderland return it, and not with a huge amount of quality. Stewart forced to drop back, tries to get involved. It ends up being a fight ball in the midfield and goes out of play for a Sunderland throw over on the far touchline. Wednesday, over the final 20 games of the league season, did have the best record in the division. 45 points they picked up over those 20 games. They were 9th at the start of that run. It was good enough for them to end up 4th. Wednesday just on the back foot again. Possession still very much in the Sunderland's favour, although the advantage isn't quite as marked as it was. It's mid-60s now. 63-37 in Sunderland's favour, but the shot count remains 2 apiece. Just the one shot on target we've seen so far. Here's 09. Back inside his own half. Danny Bart working it out towards Sirkin. Still only 20, Dennis Sirkin controlling the ball and laying it back for his goalkeeper, who's not much older. Anthony Patterson's only got a year on him. Ball down towards right, and he's got plenty on both of them. Now down towards Gooch. Gooch coming in off the right-hand touchline. Back for right again. Stewart coming to meet it very cleverly on the half volley, turns it round the corner for Pat Roberts, and Roberts now with an opportunity to run at Hutchinson for the first time. He's laid it back through the midfield. Stewart, now a chance to shoot for Evans. He sliced across it and put it wide.
Well, that opportunity there for Corey Evans just kind of sums up the game, to be honest with you. I mean, nice play from Sunderland. They worked the ball really well over this right-hand side. Roberts works it onto his left foot. A lovely little square pass from Ross Stewart. Corey Evans has got so much time. He could have actually chopped it back onto his favoured right foot, but he rushed his shot, he scuffed it, didn't really even threaten the goal, to be honest with you. But it's options in the final third, not just for Sunderland, but for Sheffield Wednesday as well. Gregory and Berahino can't get themselves into the game. They've got to get Barry Bannon on that ball. He's been so far away from getting involved, Barry Bannon. He must be getting frustrated down there because he's just playing more of a defensive role than anything else. But Sunderland, on the other hand, when you get into that final third, be clinical, be confident.
And now they've given Clark something to attack. Story gobbled up the yards and did well. Slides in on this wet playing surface and knocks it away, fires it into the Sunderland crowd, and out of play for a throw. Throw that is taken back for Dennis Sirkin, returning to the side after calf injury tonight. Here he finds Evans. Evans playing it forward for 09. Stewart in the last 3 or 4 minutes has just been taking up slightly deeper roles and coming to link up the play. Pritchard hoping to take advantage of that, increasingly on the front foot, trying to get in past him. But they have missed Nathan Broadhead so far this evening. And Broadhead, who has had an excellent loan spell here from Everton. He's scored 10 goals in his last 12 games, but missing out through injury this evening. Now crunching challenge in the midfield. Pritchard raises a hand of apology. There will be a free kick, won by Luongo, about 15 yards outside the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. 8 minutes to go to half-time. 0-0 it remains. Sunderland unbeaten in 13. Wednesday just 1 defeat in 11. So from that point of view, you could possibly have expected it to be a relatively tight encounter, and we haven't been disappointed.
I think, as I said, Jimmy, I've said it a couple of times in commentary so far, I think we've got two sides in front of us who are very nervous of making a mistake and not taking any risks, and maybe want to get into that second half when you're a little bit worn down, the brain stops working as well as it was at the beginning of the football match. You're looking for those gaps and opportunities, and then you're waiting for that little bit of quality. Look, it might come from a substitution, we never know, but at the moment it's a very tight encounter and two sides that are making a lot of mistakes.
Ball in towards Gregory, who couldn't quite get across the near post in front of Bailey Wright, and although he did get a touch on it, all he could do was poke it goal bound, and it was very, very comfortably saved by Patterson. But that has been an encouraging avenue for Wednesday, getting the ball out towards the right-hand side, in between Clark and Sirkin, for a delivery that Palmer invariably has been firing in, and that looks like, as I say, a potentially profitable avenue for Sheffield Wednesday. They've got it at the back now with Hutchinson, and again he tries to play down that right flank. Knocked away by the retreating Sirkin, high up in the air, helped on by Evans. Luongo, down for George Byers, who we've hardly mentioned so far. Luongo making another good run in behind Sirkin. Berahino making a run across the near post. Gregory in the middle, but he couldn't get it past Patterson. Another potentially perceptive cross. Well dealt with by the Sunderland goalkeeper. But once more, it came down that Wednesday right. Now Sunderland bring it forward down there right with Roberts turning neatly. Former Manchester City and Celtic man. Down towards Gooch. Gooch taking on the retreating Barry Bannon. He's got Roberts still in support for him and has pulled it back for Roberts. Roberts coming in off the right-hand touchline just for a moment. And the ball almost stops. Now it goes out towards Gooch. Oh, awkward. It was a mishit cross from Gooch, but it caused no end of problems for Peacock Farrell. Kept him honest, and he just had to take a couple of steps back, get a strong right hand to it, stop it dipping under the bar. He's tipped it onto the roof of the net and out for a corner.
Well, it's more positive. Lyndon Gooch getting into that final third, a half a yard, which is all you need. He tries to put that ball into the area. I think he took a slight little deflection off Barry Bannon, and Peacock Farrell had to get across to the near post just to tip it over the top of that crossbar. But there's better play from Sunderland, more positive.
5 to the break, 0-0. Pritchard with this latest Sunderland corner, their third. Header comes back down towards him, which wasn't the intention, and the play will stop because of the clash of heads. The referee mandated to stop play really when he sees a player going down with a head injury, and I think, is it Hutchinson that's the stricken player? To his credit, didn't try to make anything of it. He was very quickly getting back to his feet. Byers, actually, just sat down there and tried to sit up straight away to see what the situation was. He didn't try and milk it, but the referee acting very quickly. Play will restart with a drop ball, and it will be given to Sunderland, who are in possession. And it'll be given to them out by the right-hand touchline. I think Barry Bannon's going to sneak across and try and stop Pritchard getting a ball in here.
This is going to be interesting, Jim, because if this ball's bouncing and you think if it falls to Barry Bannon, is he just going to play it back into Sunderland's own half? Or is the referee just going to let Sunderland carry on from where they were? It was a strange stoppage. Yes, there was a head injury and he was down on the ground, Byers. And he has done, he's played on.
He's just dropped it short for Pritchard. Pritchard back for Gooch. Gooch clipping it in, right footed towards the edge of the area. Chance for Stewart, and that one is very well blocked. Now on the edge of the penalty area, Clark tries his luck. That one also blocked. And Berahino back defending is going to be able to get it away. It almost worked well for Sunderland. Clark, actually, Berahino should have got it away. And then Clark was in there, stopped it going out of play for a throw. Another clumsy challenge comes in. All of a sudden, Sunderland beginning to build up a head of steam. And the fans respond. And Pritchard will go across to take the free kick over on the left-hand touchline. This has been a better period for the Black Cats. So we're going to go to half-time.
It takes you 41 minutes to make the Sunderland crowd get on your side, because you know you're urging the side forward. You want to get that early goal. Just one before half-time will be absolutely fantastic. Makes a couple of challenges, and look what you get. That 12th man, which they've been missing for the first 40 minutes.
So Pritchard's going to fire it in, the man that takes charge of all of the set pieces for Sunderland. Wright is at the far post. Stewart will make a run from the edge of the penalty area in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Really good goalkeeping from Peacock Farrell. Came outside the penalty area for Clark, who had a swing and a miss, and then Bannon almost able to dispossess Gooch, who's the last man for Sunderland. He was inside the Wednesday half. Bannon put him under pressure, and the pressure was very nearly telling pressure. Gooch stumbling on the wet playing surface, but he got back to his feet. His heart would have been in his mouth there.
Just a little bit. I mean, he had the opportunity to play a simple ball out to the right-hand side, Lyndon Gooch. He stood on the ball, tried to do a little Cruyff turn in the 18-yard area. Barry Bannon's clever. He nearly won the ball back for his side, and then he would have had a run towards Sunderland's goal with a 1v1 situation, but again, just scrappy giving the ball away.
Well, O'Neill gave it away. Pritchard wins it back. He showed them to much of it to Johnson, and Johnson can nudge it away from Robertson, bring it forward, but Pritchard puts his foot in. Adams is there as well to take control of the situation for Sunderland in the midfield. It's a period that Wednesday desperately try to withstand coming up to half-time. High right-footed ball inside the box. Should be easily dealt with. It is just watched over the line by Palmer. And it goes out of play for a goal kick that Peacock Farrell will take. In the 44th minute, still 0-0 between Sunderland and Sheffield Wednesday on TalkSport.
Well, there was contact with George Byers in the 18-yard area, Jim, because he's just had to actually come across to the side of the pitch. There was blood everywhere on the front of his shirt. And I think the referee just pointed him to come across and change that shirt from the corner. And it looks like a bad one, because there was a lot of blood on the front of his shirt, so the game has stopped for a little while at the moment, but you can see the urgency, you can actually feel it, you know, that 2 or 3 minutes we've just had from Sunderland, trying to get into good areas to put the ball in the box, but don't let the forward players down. Lyndon Gooch with a right-footed cross there just put some quality in the 18-yard area and give your side a chance to take the lead in this first playoff game.
Peacock Farrell took a load of time about taking the goal kick, and it was clever, good reading of the situation, knowing that Byers was being sorted out on the near touchline and potentially just having a few butterfly stitches right at the end of this first half. So Peacock Farrell wasted as much time as he thought he could get away with before restarting play. The blood shirt is out. Byers, certainly for the rest of the first half, is going to be the man with no number as he prepares to come on. Wednesday hooking the ball inside the penalty area. Palmer on the right hand side of the box chests it down, takes it down towards the right hand corner flag for Wednesday, and now gets it in right footed. Berahino trying to get there to knock it away. Now Pritchard can help it clear, and then Sunderland will just punt it over the top, and Hutchinson's got a bit of work to do. Had to get there first for Wednesday, and he hasn't, and Stewart has dispossessed him, and he's through, and Stewart's first effort is saved, but from a tight angle he puts the rebound in, and just as we go in the first half stoppage time, Sunderland take the lead. A hopeful ball forward. Hutchinson looked the favourite, but he had two Sunderland players closing down on him. One of them was Ross Stewart, and the man that scored a hat-trick the last time Sheffield Wednesday were here has just inflicted an even more significant blow. His 25th goal of the season. First blood to Sunderland in the playoff semi-finals.
Well, Sheffield Wednesday down at one end. We talked about the quality from Liam Palmer on that right-hand side. It was a great opportunity with a wonderful ball into the box. They clear the line, Sunderland eventually. They play it out to the left-hand side. It's a bit of a hit and hope. Down the left-hand side, you've got two Sunderland players bursting towards that halfway line. Sam Hutchinson, what are you doing? Just clear your lines. You know that there's players homing down on you. You've just got to try and clear your lines. Keep it at 0-0 at half-time. He makes that mistake, and you don't want to give the ball away to somebody like Ross Stewart in that final third. Burst into the 18-yard box. He gets a second opportunity because it's a great save from Peacock Farrell, and a tight angle with his left foot just slots that ball into the back of the net. Listen to these Sunderland supporters now. They've been waiting for it for 45 minutes. It came, and they will go down at half-time, thrilled to pieces with a 1-0 lead.
And red smoke billows away to our right-hand side. Smoke canister thrown onto the pitch, landed inside the 6-yard box. The play did restart from the kickoff, but the referee just pausing proceedings, waiting for the smoke to blow out, and now waiting for somebody to come and retrieve the canister. Peacock Farrell rightly saying, why should I have to do it? And it stays down inside the 6-yard box. Nobody was going to come and get it, so they've just left it there. They'll retrieve it at half-time. That is bizarre. I mean, they're not brick-sized by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not inconsequential. Now someone will come on and get it as the half-time whistle goes. Sheffield Wednesday more than hanging in there for the opening 40 minutes or so, but Sunderland began to turn the screw, and they scored as the game went in to stoppage time. Ross Stewart embarrassing Sam Hutchinson, making him pay despite the best attempts of Peacock Farrell, and Sunderland have a 1-0 lead at half-time in the first leg. Thanks, Adrian. I wonder where you were going with that then. I thought you were going to name every Premier League player that had played for them and not mention Mickey Farida. Should have known better. A little bit of ball juggling going on the centre spot by Alex Pritchard as the two sets of players come out for the second period. And it will be Sunderland kicking from right to left, who will get us underway. Sunderland lining up Patterson in goal, right Barton, Sirkin, Gooch, Evans, O'Nien and Clark, Pritchard and Roberts and Stewart. And Sheffield Wednesday, Peacock Farrell in goal, Story, Hutchinson, either side of Harley Dean, Palmer, Byers, Luongo, Bannon and Johnson, Gregory and Berahino, the front two. Ross Stewart's 25th of the season, the difference between the two sides. And we're back underway the second of 4 halves between these two over the space of 72 hours, all live on TalkSport. Second leg coming your way Monday night, 7 o'clock build-up right here on TalkSport, ahead of a 7:45 kick-off at Hillsborough in South Yorkshire Monday. Free kick to be taken on the Sunderland left. High ball forward from Sirkin. Nodded on by Stewart, looking for Pritchard, and easily cleared down the Wednesday left over on the far touchline. Bannon sticking his foot in the midfield. Berahino came to meet it. 09 was there though. Stewart back for Pritchard, who protects the ball cleverly from Luongo and feeds it out towards the right hand side for Roberts. Roberts just with a little give and go into the feet of Barry Bannon. Worked back by 09, who looked for Evans and only found the nearest blue and white shirt, but he's rectified his error, winning it back. And it's a good, strong start of the second half here for Sunderland. Gooch with the ball in, knocked away from Byers on the edge of the penalty area, back in his own shirt now, rather than the blood shirt that he was forced to wear at the end of the first half. Still Sunderland have got it. Still Wednesday can't get a kick and can't get out of their own half. Bannon will try and force 09 back. He's managed that to an extent. But Bart will play it down, and Sirkin bringing it forwards court. He did his best to stay on his feet, but it was a foul by Gregory, and there was no discernible advantage, so play is stopped, and it's a free kick to Sunderland, and the home crowd not happy that Gregory's escaped without a yellow card. Here's Mickey Gray.
Just a little bit of frustration there from the Sheffield Wednesday players as they come out in the second half, Jim, but what I did mention at the end of the first 45 minutes was the positioning of Barry Bannon, and I'm sure that Darren Moore has had a word just to say, look, yeah, you've done great defensively for us, but I want to see you in an attacking third. I want to see you make things happen, which you've done throughout the whole of the season. We've got to get them on the ball as much as we possibly can, give our forward players an opportunity, but some of them came out, albeit they've made a couple of silly mistakes giving the ball away.
Pritchard sending a high ball forward and beats everybody and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Wednesday left. We're talking about Darren Moore, a man with plenty of playoff experience as a player. He won the championship playoff final with Derby in 2007. Back in his teenage days, he was sent off in a playoff semi-final in the face of a huge amount of antagonism. Or am I just seeing that from the perspective of a Torquay fan? Bearing in mind he was sent off playing for Torquay, probably was. The ball is, that was a bad night. The ball played forward and chested down and been knocked away down the Wednesday left towards halfway. Evans can kill it and bring it down, find 09, who quickly lays back for right infield towards Sirkin. Sirkin and Evans just exchanging passes again, and now the play down towards 09. Evans drifting out towards the left and had a bit of space. Couldn't get the ball in, away from Byers, but he's still used it intelligently. Pritchard trying to get Stewart in. Defending is good enough and will be cleared right-footed by Dean. It's brought down again by Evans, out towards Jack Clark, who's had a quiet night. Clark trying to find a way through. Byers stuck his foot in to stop his progress, and then Palmer clears for Sheffield Wednesday towards halfway. Gregory chesting it down, losing out to 09. Still an opportunity though for Wednesday to bring it forward, and Gregory has sprayed it wide for Berahino. And Berahino trying to find a way past. Not only has failed to beat Bailey Wright, he thought he got a corner, and a goal kick has been given. Right, appealing straight away that it was a little double ricochet. And the assistant referee, Phil Dermott, on this near touchline just gave himself a little bit of thinking time and then concurred. Wednesday still waiting for their first corner of the night. We played 5 minutes of the second half and Sunderland lead it 1-0.
A little bit of frustration there from Saido Berahino. A 1v1 situation, but what you want as a defender, you want to stand up strong, make the centre forward make a decision. It was a nice little step over, but the defender done really well. You see Berahino straight across to the linesman, asking the question, is it a corner, is it not a corner? But the game again, it still hasn't settled down in the second half, has it really yet, Jim?
No, not yet. It's frantic, held to skelter, a little lack of quality at times, but stakes are so high, as we've been talking about through the course of the evening. Winners of this one taking on the winners of Wickham against Milton Keynes, 2-0, Wickham leading. at the halfway stage of that one after the first leg last night. Sunderland have it with Evans. Evans trying to get it away from Byers. Sprayed wide again from the Sunderland midfield. No, 9 can get it out towards the right-hand side for Lyndon Gooch. Gooch trying to go up through the gears and deliver. Unable to do that, and eventually sliding in. Gregory has conceded another throw, which will be taken on the Sunderland right. Sunderland got an excellent defensive record, only conceded 7 in the last 13 games in this unbeaten run. And that's one of the principal reasons why they've only lost once since Alex Neil took over back in early February. So when you've got a defensive record as good as that, I just wonder what kind of platform they think will be better than par to take to Hillsborough. They might feel that even a 1-0 win would be good enough. Here's Clark. It's Pritchard, urged to shoot, and he's done exactly that. And it comes back off the junction of post and bar. And Sunderland so close, inches away from being 2-0 up. Great strike from Alex Pritchard. Couldn't quite get it to come down quickly enough.
Absolutely fantastic from Pritchard there. Good play from Clark over on this left-hand side. A lovely little ball into Pritchard. And as he opened up his body there, just seeing the corner of the goal, just curled it towards that top left-hand side. Looked for all, it was just going to dip into that corner. Peacock Farrell just jumping across to his left-hand side. Absolutely no chance of getting anywhere near it. It was a brilliant opportunity. Again, the game now is starting to open up. Players are taking risks. There's gaps in between fullbacks and centre-halves. Midfield players are able to get their head up to start to see forward passes rather than playing square. And this is when the game is in a balance. Yes, you're 1-0 up, but can you go and finish the game off and get that second goal?
Black Cats bring it forward again, looking for Pritchard. Luongo, incidentally, whilst Mickey was speaking, just got booked for a late challenge in the midfield. Another 50-50 there. Advertising for a centre-half. Bailey Wright came out, didn't get any of the ball, didn't get his man either. Wednesday work it forward, but it's too much on it for Berahino. Sunderland can mop up. 7.5 minutes into the second half. Sunderland leading Sheffield Wednesday after Ross Stewart's goal following a Sam Hutchinson error in first half stoppage time. Wednesday with a 9. Just on the back foot as the Sunderland man can play it forward. Sunderland will bring it with Roberts down towards the left-hand side. Good switch of play for Jack Clark. Clark running towards the edge of the penalty area, waiting for the run past him on the overlap. It's pegged back and Story puts it out of play. Cirkin had done very well there to get forward in support for Clark. He's pulled back, knocked away by Story, out for Sunderland's first corner of the second half.
It's amazing when you pick up the tempo, how things start to happen for you. This time you've got Roberts over on that right-hand side, plays a lovely ball over to the left-hand side. A give and go with Clark. Cirkin just gets his head up, just trying to find a Sunderland player in that penalty spot, but it's so difficult to get past these Sheffield Wednesday defenders.
6 forward again for Sunderland. Pritchard with the delivery. Really good defensive header came from Byers. And he gets it outside the penalty area for Berahino. Berahino with his back to the direction of play looked up and would have been alarmed at the lack of passing options. He's maintained possession but is forced to scamper back in his left back position and now loses it down by the corner flag. Sunderland bring it forward and Pritchard shoots and it goes just over the bar. VAR deflection, another corner.
Well, the last place you want your centre forward inside Berahino is in your own 18-yard area trying to clear his lines. He had an opportunity to work the ball onto his right foot. He held onto the ball. Sunderland win it back. Brilliant play over on that right-hand side from Roberts. Wonderful left foot. Got to the byline. Again, he just that last left foot opportunity there. Just couldn't get it out of his feet. And listen to the crowd now. That 12th man is starting to help Sunderland urge to the final whistle.
Yeah, they're sensing a second here. Pritchard with the delivery. It's headed away. Berahino tries to help it further clear, but doesn't succeed. And Gooch now for Sunderland. Checks onto the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed ball finding Pritchard. Pritchard can't get himself into a shooting position, but he can play in Clark. Clark with a tantalising ball. Headed down across the edge of the 6-yard box and then over. Got another chance for Sunderland, and they're coming with an increased regularity now. That was excellent play. As the ball was played in, Bart nodding it back. Sirkin leaning back, headed it over the bar. Possibly not the man they wanted that chance to fall to, but all the good opportunities are coming inside the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Sunderland 1-0 up and hungry for more.
Now, what a chance. I mean, again, they're playing some wonderful football now, Sunderland. They're getting themselves around that 18-yard area, and the quality is now there. A lovely pullback. I'm not too sure if it was Sirkin or Roberts who had the final header, but they've got to hit the target. What an opportunity. Got the whole goal to aim for. There's enough pace on that ball in the box. Keep your head down and just hit it into one of the corners. What a chance.
Wednesday make a change. Berahino has come off, and Josh Windus, who's scored 3 goals off the bench this season, is the man that has come on to replace him. Windus, who scored in his last playoff tie back in his Accrington days 6 seasons ago, and his old man once scored the winner in a championship playoff final for Hull. So the playoffs holding a special place in the Windus family history. Can Josh write another chapter in that now for Wednesday? 11 minutes into this second half. Sunderland leading 1-0. No surprise really that Berahino's the sacrificial lamb there for Wednesday.
Yeah, he looked as if he was out on his feet, Jim. I think he'd given absolutely everything. Maybe it's just been a long, hard season for him. But I don't think he really showed us the quality that he certainly can do when he gets into that final third. Didn't really get too many opportunities to do so. But it gives Josh Windus, who's a quality player, the opportunity to get Sheffield Wednesday back into this tie.
Josh Windus, player who scored more than 60 goals in his career at a rate of about 1 every 4 games. Ball cleared by Sunderland through the midfield. Bannon able to pick it up. Barry Bannon, as we've been mentioning, hasn't had his customary influence, but he passed a late fitness test to play. I wonder if he's absolutely 100%. Calculated risk worth taking, probably, if you're Darren Moore, the Wednesday manager. Good strong running again by Roberts. Has got past his man, and still he goes, and still goes, and it needed a deflection from Hutchinson to steer his effort over the bar. Well, in a wonderful goal from Pat Roberts. Man has scored 2 in the Champions League earlier in his career, and breaking forward down the right flank, he travelled about 40 yards, beat 3 challenges, but he couldn't quite find the finish thanks to an excellent last-ditch intervention from Hutchinson.
Oh, Fabi, what a goal that would have been. What a run from Patrick Roberts. Gets it under that left foot. He's got the pace. He works it back. He has to skip by 2 or 3 Sheffield Wednesday players. Last-ditch challenge. Just took it over the top of the crossbar. You want an impact from a player? Well, he's certainly showing it in his second half.
3 corners in the first half for Sunderland, 3 in the second half already. In comes the latest one. It's taken, again, a couple of Wednesday touches before Windus will be able to hammer it away with a left-footed volley. As it was played back towards Pritchard, he couldn't keep it in, and Sheffield Wednesday have a throw. Now kind of in the territory that Darren Moore would be grateful that his side are only 1-0 down. That was a very good opportunity for Roberts. Sirkin missed more than a half chance. Pritchard's hit the frame of the goal. Sunderland much better in this second half than they were in the first. Wednesday at the moment just struggling to live with them. Darren Moore in consultation with Jamie Smith and Simon Ireland. Just wonder whether they're contemplating further changes. They have Deli Bashiru, Patterson, Mendes-Lang, Dunkley and Hunt all on the bench that they can call upon, as well as goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith in case of emergency. You're listening to Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL League One playoffs, live on TalkSport with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. We played nearly an hour. Sunderland, the better side at the moment, leading by a goal to 0.
Sunderland are now starting to show the performance I was expecting in the first half, Jim. I expected them to come out of the traps and really take the game to Sheffield Wednesday. They are the home side. The impetus is with them. They've got to try and take something to Hillsborough on Monday evening. They've got that 1-goal advantage at the moment, and the way that the game is panning out and the opportunities that Sunderland are creating themselves over the last 5 to 6 minutes, they have to finish it off. They've got to try and finish this quality off with a second goal. And if they can get that second goal, as I mentioned before, when they got the first just before half-time, the roof will come off this stadium.
Just listen to the atmosphere. Certainly not lacking for vociferous support here on Weir side tonight. The Wednesday fans have made the journey up to the northeast in numbers, and they'll be packing out Hillsborough Monday Night Live on TalkSport for the second leg. Sunderland's last defeat was here against the MK Dons back on February the 19th. It remains their only loss under Alex Neil. Wednesday have only lost one of their last 11, which was at Wickham recently. In those 11, they have scored 25 goals, almost 2.5 a game, but not too many clear-cut opportunities for them tonight. They'll try and create something here. Palmer with a high ball in, too high for Gregory, kept alive by Johnson, but trying to nutmeg Gooch, and the American was too cute to be fooled by that. And Wednesday will pick up the second zone with Hutchinson forward towards Byers, helped by Dean, down towards Palmer, faced up by Clark, forced to just go back for Story, and as he plays it forward, it's another something or nothing ball which rolls innocuously into the Sunderland penalty area, and Patterson will come out and claim it. 61 gone, Sunderland 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Well, no question Liam Palmer's been Sheffield Wednesday's best player, and when he's had the opportunity to put the ball in the area, I think he's been asking questions of his forward players to say, look, I'm doing my part. Is there any way that somebody's going to get on the end of one of these crosses that I'm putting in the area? But the more that the ball just falls to Patterson in that Sunderland goal, he's going to keep hold of it. He's going to tick away the time. As I said, they've been very patient in the second half, waiting for their opportunities to try and search down that second and all-important goal.
Now Hutchinson coming forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Bannon for the blonde head. Winders towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a brilliant saving challenge from the retreating Sirkin. Wednesday recycle it, get it in from the left flank. Wright gets that one away, all the way towards halfway. Hutchinson sends a spiralling header forward. And Sunderland again able to pick up the seconds with Roberts. And now Gooch will go back to the edge of his own penalty area, and Bailey Wright can get it away. And it was very intelligently flipped on by Pritchard. Now with Premier League experience in his career, not so much playoff experience, but he did play in a playoff campaign for Brentford a few years ago. Then O'Nien has brought down his man in the midfield, and he's going to be the first Sunderland player booked for a foul on George Byers.
Yeah, it had to be a yellow card. Luke O'Nien slipping as the ball came to him there, just took his eye off the ball. Byers was just about to get away from him, and I think Matt Donoghue had to put his hand in his pocket to pull out that yellow card. I don't know if this is a ploy from Sunderland, Jim, and we haven't really noticed it too much in the game because there's other things been happening, but Luke O'Nien has been very, very close to Barry Bannon in the game. I don't know if it's a man-to-man marking job. O'Nien's got himself on the ball on a few occasions, but Barry Bannon, he must be so frustrated. I mean, he's got an opportunity from a free kick here from the centre circle, but I've hardly seen him.
We'll fire it in here. It's a header on target, coming in at the far post. Well, not a particularly powerful one from Harley Dean, which was easily saved by Patterson. He just had to make a step to his left-hand side and collapse onto the ball. Bannon's in his 7th season with the Owls. He's played more than 300 games for the club. I'm interested to see in the build-up. Mick, you described him as the best player in League One. He has been nominated for that particular accolade.
Yeah, he's a quality player. I think that they're very fortunate, Sheffield Wednesday, with the greatest respect, that he's actually still at the club. He showed a lot of loyalty when I think he had his head turned, certainly on a few occasions at the end of last season. Could have went back to the Championship and stuck around, and he hasn't let anybody down. I mean, his commitment to this club's been absolutely first class, which is, if he has got a little bit of a niggly injury, full credit to him for actually going out and playing the game this evening. You want your best players out there, but I want to see Barry Bannon at his best.
Well, a player that has been promoted to the Premier League through the playoff final. That was when he was at Blackpool back in 2010. Ball played forward here by Sunderland. Stewart, the goal scorer, nodding it down. Pritchard takes over. Pritchard to Clark. Clark just coming in off the left flank, checking it onto his right foot. High ball in, too high again for Stewart. In the first half an hour, maybe that would have drawn a few murmurs of frustration from the Sunderland fans, but they're enthused by what they're seeing. No murmurs now, just very positive encouragement for the Black Cats. A goal up, they'll feel that the lead should be more emphatic than that. Wednesday hanging in there. But if it ends 1-0, they've got more than a puncher's chance of being able to turn it around, of course, at Hillsborough. It was set up an enthralling second leg. Someone might feel with Wednesday's good home record that they need a second. Evans shipping the ball out towards the Sunderland right. Roberts just given a shove underneath the flight of it by Hutchinson, and it's a free kick which will be taken on the Sunderland right as we approach the midway stage of this second half on TalkSport. Sunderland the goal to the good.
And Sheffield Wednesday need to get a little bit of flow going in the second half. It's not really happened for them. It's stop-start. They keep giving fouls away. Hutchinson this time over on the left-hand side against Patrick Roberts. He's always going to go to ground, and it just keeps taking that time away, every opportunity, and it gives Sunderland another chance to put that ball into the Sheffield Wednesday area. Looks like Pritchard's gone over to take this one with that right foot of his, and there's enough men up there to create that opportunity.
Final day of the Championship tomorrow, where these two sides want to be. Sheffield United against Fulham, exclusive on TalkSport at 12:30, whilst on TalkSport 2, Luton at home to Reading. Pritchard just bends down and wipes his hand on the turf, which I would imagine is the signal of where the ball is going. If it is, that was the signal for it being under-hit in towards the edge of the D for Wednesday to clear.
Oh dear. I mean, you get opportunities. You can imagine how much League One sides and Championship sides, they must work on set pieces a heck of a lot, Jim, but that one was just completely wrong from Pritchard there. And again, you know, Patterson just clearing his lines, goes straight back through to Peacock Farrell. This is the scrappy moments that you've got to try and nullify if you possibly can.
Palmer giving Winder something to chase, and he'll get there down on the right-hand side of the penalty area, and his persistence isn't rewarded. I thought that he got the better there of Bailey Wright, who'd come across the cover, but Winder's judged to have shoved him to the ground, and his lack of reaction suggests that Winder's thought it was a fair cop. But it's a free kick that Sunderland will take in the left-back position. A quarter of this game to go, and the second leg to follow on Monday. Also coming live tomorrow for you, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham and Mickey, Alvin Martin as well. All the goals as they go on a busy day of Premier League and League 2 final day action tomorrow afternoon, including Burnley Villa, Chelsea Wolves, Palace Watford, which could see the Hornets relegated. We've got Chelsea Wolves for you live on TalkSport 2, kicking off at 3. Ball cleared, left-footed by Bailey Peacock Farrell, and straight out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Sunderland left-hand side on halfway. 68 gone. Sunderland 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 on TalkSport.
That ball, Jim, that Sheffield Wednesday played into the corner for Josh Windass is probably the way to go. You know, they're trying to overplay in certain areas. They're not getting it into good positions, so they're on the left or the right-hand side. And Josh Windass, he's come on, he's fresh, he wants to run in between centre-halves. But when he does get hold of that ball, he needs midfield runners, players to help him out, because he was there and he was a little bit stranded in the end. Yes, he lost the ball, but he had nowhere to go with it.
Excellent ball clipped down the left-hand side of the penalty area. There's Evans with the pass, high left-footed ball swung in, too high for Stewart, headed away. 9 doing well, ducks his head in, nods it out towards Roberts. Roberts, left-footed effort, and Peacock Farrell would have had it covered. He dived away to his right-hand side. He withdrew his hands at the final moment, knowing he's going to beat the post and go wide. And it's a goal kick which will be taken by Sheffield Wednesday, who've got just over 20 minutes to find parity to take a positive result back to Hillsborough for the second leg.
Well, only Patrick Roberts will know whether that was a shot or a cross. He's always trying to work it onto his left foot. It's curling towards that far post, and he's just looking in the area for a centre forward running in just to get a little toe on the end of it, and it nearly crept in at that far post. Peacock Farrell had to shuffle across to his right hand side. Well, he's had a very good second half. Patrick Roberts, he's been involved in a lot. He looks lively, he's got a lot of enthusiasm about him. We'll get him on that ball. He's creating havoc.
Pritchard able to pick it up after a slight mistake from Dean, and then the cross that comes back in just repays the favour, and it goes out of play for a goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. He's had a strange career, Pat Roberts. 25, in his mid-teens he was playing first-team football. He's played top-flight football in England, Scotland, France and Spain. There aren't too many that have done that by the age of 25. now playing League One, but he looks a class apart. He's had to take a couple of steps back, or a step back, with absolutely no disrespect to Sunderland. I'm talking about in terms of the level that they're playing, just to be able to get himself going on the front foot again. But in this kind of company, he does look excellent. He's been fantastic in this second half so far, but he's going to have to come back and defend now, because Sheffield Wednesday have just won their first corner of the night, which they'll take on the left flank with Windus.
Yeah, first corner, first opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday to put that ball in the mixer, as they say, and you can see all the centre halves are coming up just towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Now this is their chance.
They've scored more goals from corners than any other team in the division. Hutchinson going for the near post flick, didn't quite come off. Sunderland defended it well enough. Johnson laying it back for Palmer. High diagonal from him towards the edge of the penalty area, nodded on, and Gregory was almost in there. Out came Patterson, the tight angle on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box. One of the Sunderland defenders got a touch, flick it away from his keeper, but Gregory too, and it goes out of play for another corner, which Windus will take.
Last thing you want is uncertainty as a goalkeeper or a centre-half. Second opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday.
The right-footed in, swinging towards the far post, and it swung in a little bit too much. Beat everybody. Byers was trying to get in there, but it's just drifted straight out of play for a goal kick. 18 to go, 1-0 Sunderland.
Just a little bit rushed. You talk about momentum, and Sheffield Wednesday have got it over the last 2 or 3 minutes, but when you get an opportunity from a corner, take your time, be patient, wait until everybody's set up the way that you've worked on it in training. Don't rush your corner. If everybody's running towards the near post, the last thing you want to do is put the ball over everybody and it goes out for a Sunderland goal kick. We used to call that a crime, Jim, because that's basically what it is. If you're a centre-half or a full-back coming up, you're running 60, 70 yards to try and get on the end of a quality corner. You expect the penalty or the corner taker to put a bit of quality in the box for you.
Manchester United's theoretical hopes of getting into the Champions League will only be maintained if they win at Brighton tomorrow tea time. We've got that live for you on TalkSport. Brighton still looking for a first ever top half finish in the top flight. Ninth at the start of the weekend. It's a 5:30 kickoff in Sussex tomorrow night. Sam Matterface and Scott Minto will talk you through the action from the Annex. Also on Sunday, as well as the final day of the WSL, we've got Milton Keynes against Wickham in the other League One playoff semi-final, the second leg of that, with Adam Bridge and Milton Keynes. 6:30 Sunday, TalkSport 2. 17 minutes to go tonight. And it's a Sunderland advantage courtesy of Ross Stewart's goal in first half stoppage time after a mistake from Sam Hutchinson. Hutchinson got at least one of his stripes back with a brilliant block from Roberts' shot in this second period. Pritchard's hit the junction of post and bar. The best chance is going Sunderland's way. Certainly 1-0 more than fair. If it was 2-0 to Sunderland, you'd probably say that was reflective of their advantage over the whole piece. 65-35 the possession, and they've had almost 3 times as many attempts as Wednesday, but the Owls hanging in there, and if it stays this way, the second leg will be some encounter. O'Nine's got it in the midfield for Sunderland. Play down to his left-hand side, which Circle will try and bring it forward, but he stumbled. He claimed he was caught. The referee says play on. Forward from Byers into the feet of Windus, who couldn't supply him with an effective return ball, and Corey Evans has come back. He's also been able to mop up and then clear left-footed up the left-hand touchline. Bannon is in there, and the Scottish international hooks it over his own shoulder. Story laying it back for Dean. Dean goes back to his goalkeeper. Peacock Farrell trying to take a touch. Pritchard thought about the press and thought better of it, and Dean will swipe it away at the right-hand touchline. Headed on by Sirkin from the back for Sunderland. Bannon's got it though. To Byers. Now Luongo. Former Swindon man making his way forward through the midfield. Plays it out of the Wednesday left for Johnson. Back for Luongo again. Johnson picking it up. A yard in from the left-hand touchline. Behind him is Hutchinson. Hutchinson to Bannon. Using the ball intelligently as always. Barry Bannon shows for the return pass, then plays it out towards Mark Johnson. Johnson coming towards the edge of the penalty area. And just had his pocket picked very effectively in there. Wednesday win it back, but not for long. And Wright should be able to clear. Went back to his goalkeeper rather than knocking it upfield and sent a brisk bouncing ball back for Patterson. And the rookie keeper trying to meet it on the half volley. It took a horrible little skip in front of him, and he's ended up slicing it straight out of play for a Wednesday throw, only about 15 yards from the corner flag.
Just wonder why certain players make decisions at certain times.
Winders with a high ball in. Johnson will retreat, but pick it up on the right-hand touchline. Back he comes towards Palmer. Right-footed cross from him. That's headed away by Pritchard. Wednesday still trying to turn the screw, and it's all after Bailey Wright went back to his goalkeeper rather than launching it upfield to safety.
And what happens is the back line of Sunderland start to drop off even more. It gives Sheffield Wednesday more space on the football pitch. They can play it around, they put the ball into the area. Look, they haven't created too many great opportunities, Jim, in this game. I think Gregory's had a couple of chances, but without any pace and threatening the keeper.
Luongo chipping it in. Palmer with the header off balance over the bar. Difficult chance for a man who's only scored 4 in nearly 400 in his career. Just too far ahead of him to stop him being able to guide it across the edge of the 6-yard box for Gregory. But more attacking intent from Wednesday. One of the rare occasions they have been able to turn the Sunderland back line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly been Sheffield Wednesday over the last 5 minutes. They're getting themselves on the half turn now. Wing backs are trying to get forward. Liam Palmer on this right hand side. It was just a little bit too high for him. Luongo tried to float one to the back stick there, but it's all coming from making mistakes. Bailey Wright giving the ball away. Luke O'Nien in the midfield area giving the ball away. And when it falls to a Sheffield Wednesday player, they are now starting to get on the half turn and looking for those forward passes.
9 chips it down for Clark. It's come off him and gone out of play for a Wednesday throw, which Palmer was in a hurry to take. A bit of conjecture about which way the throw was going to go. Alex Neil and Darren Moore both looking pleadingly at fourth official Dean Whitestone, who found himself sandwiched between the two managers. Officials found in Wednesday's favour. Sunderland get it back on the edge of the penalty area, and then it's a poor ball forward from the back from Gooch. And Wednesday have it again. Johnson's going to be able to bring it forward. He's used the full width of the pitch, gets a left-footed ball in. Oh, goalkeeper's come out, spilt it, was headed back past him, but cleared on the edge of the 6-yard box by Wright. Palmer getting himself into some really good advanced positions now from right wing back, Liam Palmer. Ball comes in from the left-hand side. That was better goalkeeping that time from Patterson. Very grateful to be able to get his hands on that and just collapse to the ground inside the 6-yard box, having been stuck in no man's land for the previous one that came in. Wednesday getting closer, 1-0 to Sunderland.
2 outstanding balls into the area from Marvin Johnson over on that left-hand side for Sheffield Wednesday. The first one, Anthony Patterson, he's flapping his arms around, he's absolutely nowhere near it. Heart in mouth situation. But the second one, he comes out, he commands his area, plucks it out of the sky, absolutely fantastic, just to take the sting out of the game at the moment, which is certainly in Sheffield Wednesday's favour.
Elliot Embleton is going to be coming on for Sunderland very shortly. Just need to try and get more of a foothold in the midfield, which was an area where they were dominant in the first half and in the first half of the second half. But Wednesday have just got a grip of it now. Ball is played to the left for Danny Bart. Bart to right. A little bit of nervous tension emanating around the Stadium of Light at the moment, with 11 minutes to go in this first leg. Sunderland clear towards halfway. Hutchison comes back to meet it. Gregory's got a huge amount of time, only 10 yards outside the Sunderland penalty area, to be able to bring it down. And now coming off the left flank, Johnson trying to get himself into a position to deliver, but has fouled his man. Gooch winning the free kick, which will be taken in Sunderland's right back position. 79 gone. Sunderland 1, Wednesday 0. Now the changes will be made. Embleton and Mateta are the two who are coming on. First one off is Pritchard. So that's a defensive-minded change. Slightly more defensive-minded midfielder coming on to replace Pritchard, the number 10 being replaced by a number 4 really in Mateta, former Fleetwood man who's very highly regarded. I'm just waiting to see who's going to be replaced by Embleton. It's Clark. So Embleton for Clark, Mateta for Pritchard.
Well, I don't mind those. I don't mind those substitutions. I maybe question why Mateta wasn't starting the game. He's a calming influence in that midfield area. And Elliot Embleton's had a very decent season. He's a goal scorer. He makes some very nice runs. He's got a wonderful left foot. You give him the opportunity and time and space, he can make things happen. And it was getting to that point in the game, Jim, where they needed to freshen it up. And I think Alex Neil's made two very good substitutions.
Well, he's made the second one's a very good substitution because nobody's gone off. Embleton has come on. Clark's number came up. He's come towards the near touchline, and they've said, no, I don't want Clark to come off. And they've changed their mind. So I don't know whether it's the wrong number, wrong instruction, or a very late change of heart, but Roberts is the player that has now been replaced, and Clark has had a reprieve.
Now it's going to be interesting to see where Embleton actually plays now. Is he going to take that position up from Roberts? He probably will. I think he'll play a little bit more narrower than what Roberts will, but there's no question Mateta will hold in that midfield area. I said he doesn't rarely give the ball away. He's very calm on the ball. He's got good patience, and we're about at that time in the game where I think there is patience needed, certainly from a Sunderland perspective, but Sheffield Wednesday have to react to that. I'm just wondering whether Darren Moore is going to make more changes himself.
Well, you might have heard the attendance, 44,742, the biggest ever for a playoff semi-final at any level in 35 years. Credit to the supporters of both clubs involved for that being the case. Sunderland lead it 1-0, and here's Jack Clark. Now Mateta. First touch for him, sends it wide. It goes out towards the right-hand touchline. Embleton back for Mateta again. And now an opportunity for Embleton to take it on. Left-footed ball, high, swept in. Roberts, Stewart, very well marshalled by Harley Dean. And the man affectionately known in these parts as the Loch Ness Drogba, unable to get on the end of that long ball forward. As nicknames go, by the way, that is right up there.
Well, if you're scoring goals every single week, Jim, I don't think you matter. I don't think anybody cares what your name is, whatever your nickname is. And he's certainly loved in the North East. He's had a very good season. 25 goals to boot.
25th of them, the most important to date, and it's the one that has given Sunderland the lead here this evening. The score against Lincoln in the second leg of the playoff semi-final last season. He won a playoff in his native Scotland with Alloa. And he's just won another contested long ball forward there. Got the better of Hutchinson, but Sunderland couldn't win the second ball. 7 to go. 1-0 to Sunderland. There'll be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added on. Not least because a couple of minutes it took to sort that substitution out. Windus. Forward Story. Back for Windus again. Good run forward from Palmer. Worked into the middle instead. Looking for Gregory. They couldn't find the former Millwall man, and it's cleared. Big shout of get out from a Sunderland fan in front of us, and concerned at how deep the Black Cats back line are beginning to drop now, condensing everything in front of the goalkeeper. Wednesday enjoying the majority of possession. And Sunderland not nervously sitting on the lead, but on the back foot. Hutchinson makes his way forward, trying to check and get inside the penalty area. Evans stopped that, but Byers is there to pick it up. Referee takes evasive action. High left foot ball swung in. Palmer back across the edge of the 6-yard box, but it wasn't the best header. Acrobatic overhead clearance from Clark gets it away. Luongo, though, picks it up in the midfield again for Wednesday. 1-2 between him and Bannon. Played out towards Johnson. Johnson, who's put in some really good delivery from that left flank. Play forward by Bannon. Gets it back again when perhaps he shouldn't have been able to. Now takes it on down towards the corner flag. Can't beat this man. Oh, Nine has gone well to stick his foot in, and Sunderland will be able to play their way out with Mateta, but gone out of play for a Wednesday throw. And this is a better period from the visitors, trailing 1-0 with 5 to go.
Absolutely. They're pushing everybody forward, Sheffield Wednesday, and it's Sunderland who should be the fresher, having to make those changes. But look at the midfield. They're so deep. They're just urging Sheffield Wednesday to make that final pass, and they're getting it into good areas now. They put some decent balls into the box, and they're going to have to defend for their lives, Sunderland, to the rest of this game, because that's the way it looks like it's panning out.
Yeah, it's very much a back five now for Sunderland, and the four midfielders aren't too far ahead of them, as Mickey alluded to there, including this man Corey Evans, but he can find Mateta with time to take a touch, and a second, rides the challenge. Now the potential options to his left hand side, including Clark making his way forward. A little bit of respite for the Sunderland back line, bit of a breather for them. Wednesday are forced to come back into a defensive formation, but Clark soon stopped his run forward, checked and turned back, and while Sunderland have maintained the ball, they've gone back inside their own half to do so. Right to Evans. Oh, a touch from Barr. Back he goes for Bailey Wright again, and the Aussie chips it forward, trying to give 09 something to chase. Cleared down the Sunderland left-hand side by Hutchinson, and out of play for a Black Cats throw with 4 minutes to go.
Well, there's no doubt certain periods in this game, Jim, that this football match is flattered to deceive. You know, we haven't seen the quality that maybe we expected to see, but we just wanted one bit of quality, and it came the Sunderland way.
Embleton gets the ball in here, out of play. Foul deflection to another Sunderland corner, the first that they've had for about half an hour. I'm just happy, as I say, to get the ball and keep it out of harm's way at the moment, with 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. Wright comes forward, Bart stayed back. There's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from that far touchline, very deep. Everybody converged on the near post area, and it was an archetypal far post ball, and goes past everybody out of play for a goal kick. And the head scratching going on the Sunderland bench. Alex Neil not at all happy. He's literally jumping up and down on the spot, questioning why that corner was played into that area by Embleton. Wednesday will now make another change. Deli Bashiru is coming on. Byers makes way. So Deli Bashiru, the German midfielder, former Manchester City man, who's just scored the wrong goal in nearly 50 senior games in his career. And he's on for the final 2.5 minutes. Sunderland lead it 1-0. Ball helped on. Gregory trying to find a way past Sirkin, and he clears it left-footed out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Wednesday right.
Going back to the corner, you know, you've got a fresh face who just came on in Embleton. He works over to the right-hand side. He has to know, he must have watched the set pieces that Sunderland have been working on to try and break down Sheffield Wednesday to get that second goal. Everybody yet again runs to the near post. You put too much pace on it. It's just so poor.
Deli Bashiru got the better of Clark. It was good covering from Sirkin. Paris won, but not two. A poor defensive header, a really poor defensive header from the goalkeeper. He's got back in position though. Stewart! Just wide. Well, it all came from just a rudimentary ball fall from the Sunderland midfield. And Peacock Farrell came out and looked very casual, almost Edison-esque. And he's headed it down, but nowhere in particular. All of a sudden, Stewart seized upon it. And he had to go wider out towards the right-hand side of the box. That allowed Peacock Farrell the chance to get back. But Stewart still got his shot in. He beat the keeper, but it went just past the post.
Oh, Bailey, Peacock Farrell, you lucky man. I mean, if the ball's going to come back to you in your area, you're coming out of your 18-yard box to clear your lines. You're not trying to play a little 5-yard header towards your left-hand side. With the players and the quality that Sunderland got in that final third, do not give them a second opportunity to score that all-important goal. It's just crazy from the goalkeeper. I know Darren Moore must be just looking down thinking, what are you doing?
Deli Bashiru finding Liam Palmer. Windus down towards the byline, driven ball in that hits Sirkin and goes out of play. 30 seconds of normal time remaining. 4 or 5 minutes to be added on, not sure which yet. Given away by the Sunderland back line. Windus can get it in. Right-footed slice clearance from inside the Black Cats box. Now Sirkin, hurried, under pressure. The magnitude of the situation may be getting the better of an inexperienced young man, and he slices it straight out for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield Wednesday right.
Well, Jim, I think we're just about to get the added on time in front of us, and I think it looks like it's going to be 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, it's 4 minutes, and Sunderland are going to hang on. They're waiting for a counter-attack to try and get that second goal, but it's all Sheffield Wednesday. The Sunderland defenders are making mistakes. They're not clearing their lines properly. You can see and you can sense the nerves in these players. They just want to get it as far away from their goal as they possibly can. And Sheffield Wednesday have to compose themselves, try and get that equalising goal, show that little bit of quality in the final third.
Wednesday have only ever lost one game in the playoffs in 8. That was against Hull in the 2016 Championship final. The only defeat they've had in the last 8 playoff games. Are they going to slip to another one here? Ball play for Patterson's claimed it. Offside shout against Gregory. Patterson came out, took it off his head anyway. Sunderland are through the opening minute of stoppage time. 3 to go. Well, Wednesday's possession is, well, still in the low 40s, very much on the up curve. They'll look back at moments, Sunderland, if they ultimately don't make it through to the final. The Stewart chance, Pritchard hitting the junction of post and bar, the Roberts effort that was brilliantly blocked by Hutchinson to deflect it over the bar. They've had chances to make this much more convincing, but they've seen enough in the last 20 minutes to know that they're going to be under a fair bit of pressure at Hillsborough on Monday night. Palmer taking a free kick for Wednesday on halfway. Headed down by Mateta. Ball through in midfield from Luongo. Right-footed effort from Windus. Really good block coming in from Bart against his former club. Deli Bashiru out for Palmer. Right-footed inside the penalty area. Looping header goes over the bar. Out of play for a Sheffield Wednesday corner as we go into the 93rd minute.
And Alex Neil, I think, is going to make us another substitution because he's just trying to tick the time away as quick as he possibly can. Sheffield Wednesday getting into good areas, putting nice balls into the box, and you're right, Jim, you mentioned that Sheffield Wednesday in this second tie cannot play as poorly as this and only create half opportunities in front of their home fans. There's an expectation at Hillsborough. Being there as a player, I know what they expect from players, and they will improve. There's no question about that. And Sunderland have got to come up with the answers because it is going to be fine margins playing away on Monday evening.
So Clark has come off, and England under-19 international centre-half Callum Doyle, who's on loan from Manchester City, has come on. Just another 6-footer back to defend in the last couple of minutes. So the 4 minutes of stoppage time are going to be elongated because of that. A minute plus to go. Bit of pushing and shoving going on. Bannon fired the corner in from the right flank, but only after the whistle had gone. The referee just trying to calm Gregory and co down inside that 6-yard box. So another opportunity for Bannon to fire this in. Sunderland fans trying to cheer them over the line. Bottle thrown towards Bannon there from the Sunderland crowd as he was preparing to take the corner. It missed him. Left-footed in, swinging delivery right under the bar. Good header away. It'll come back down towards Bannon, who chests it down. Back it goes. Johnson hooking it inside the penalty area. Still everybody forward for Wednesday. Good touch. Luongo trying to help it on. Free kick given though Sunderland's way. They took it quickly, but the ball was moving. Had they been able to stop the ball and knock it out towards Embleton there, he'd have been in a good position. But as it is, the fact that they've got to replace it and retake it will just run a few more seconds off the clock. We've played the 4 minutes. Evans has now gone down with a touch of cramp. And by the time Sunderland have taken this free kick and launched it into Sheffield Wednesday territory, you would think that the job is done. Well, half done. Half done only, of course. And the first leg lead, which felt so important from a Black Cats perspective, is seconds away. Patterson is going to take this free kick for them. Swung out towards the right-hand touchline. Headed on by Stewart, then headed away from the edge of his own penalty area. Like Johnson volleys it forward, straight out of play for a Sunderland throw. Now played 5 added minutes. The throw will be taken on the Sunderland right, and by the time they've taken it, that should just about be that. Only right that the referee's added on at least 1 more minute, but I don't think there's going to be too much time to be added on in addition. Gooch taking the throw, hurls it up the line, and Sunderland have the victory. A 1-0 lead to take to South Yorkshire on Monday night, courtesy of Ross Stewart in first half stoppage time, capitalising on Sam Hutchinson's error. There were nervy times in the last 15 minutes for Sheffield. Sunderland forced to defend. Wednesday enjoying much the better of it as the game reached its climax. They will feel only 1 down with the best home record in the division. They've got an outstanding chance of being able to turn this around. The Black Cats will point to mistakes in the Wednesday penalty area, to a chance for Pritchard to hit the frame of the goal, to a chance for Roberts which came very close, to another from Stewart that flashed just wide. And Sunderland will feel that perhaps the lead should have been that little bit more emphatic. The Wednesday players go and acknowledge the support of the travelling fans away to our left-hand side. A few fist pumps there going on. That suggests that, broadly speaking, they're pretty happy with things at the moment. But it is Sunderland with the advantage right now. And we'll do it all again on Monday at Hillsborough. Sunderland 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, the full-time score tonight.